Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we're in a different room, different setup, different vibe, new camera, and let me know what you guys think at the end. This video is really just more of an update, the true update of how this has been going for me and the struggles that have come with the path of entrepreneurship and a few lessons learned, but mostly just a reminder that it is not a linear progression to get to your goals, and that, especially in entrepreneurship, I believe it to be a parabola, and to also let you guys know where I'm at in said parabola. Welcome back to the Becoming Her Diaries, where I share my journey of becoming my highest self in the hopes of inspiring you to do the same. I have been out of traditional employment for 6 months, and I can tell you it is one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my entire life. There is such a requirement of self love and self belief and self confidence that is required to really make yourself be successful that I underestimated my own mindset, my own self concept, to the point where I have had to re identify with who I am, what my challenges are, and what I really want for my life. For those who have been following along on this journey, you'll know that I left my job in November to pursue content creation as well as to pursue day trading. And I would say they're equal in about where I am in progress wise, but mindset wise, they're completely different. I will start with trading because I think that's the one a lot of people are more invested in, is that trading is such a physical and mental challenge. It's hard to put into words the difficulties that come with day trading because until you do it, you don't realize how strenuous it is. And until you're relying on the money you make, you don't realize how strenuous it is. There's a reason that a lot of people give it up and they don't continue with it. And I have seen myself give up some days. Like today, I didn't even look at the market because I knew that where my headspace was at, it was not even worth my time and risk to waste my money. I also know that I don't trade very well on Fridays, and so I had to step away. I think the hardest part about trading is watching other people be successful when you aren't, and it hurts. It's literally taking you back to kindergarten, first grade, whatever class you were in that you did the worst in. It feels like that every single day because you are watching other people succeed, and it's hard to avoid everyone else's wins when you're having losses. And how do you mentally handle that difference between them and you and not personally identify with it? On the other side, content creation is just a constant ability to not just sell products, but to also sell yourself. And I've also learned that I am not very good at selling myself. I'm way better at selling ideas and concepts to people than the concept of me. And so that is going to be my biggest challenge going into Q3 and finishing out quarter 2, is just learning to sell myself. I am more aware than anyone else of all my flaws and areas of growth in ways that other people would never be aware of. And so sometimes I try to sell myself to people and I start thinking about those flaws and areas of growth, and it changes what I say and how I truly feel about what I'm able to accomplish. And it can affect the way that I present myself as a total package. I can also hear those inner thoughts that are the devil on my shoulder versus the angel on my shoulder. And trying to tune this one out is so much harder than people try to make it seem. They're like, oh, well, just do affirmations, just do positive thoughts, and da da da. And I do all those things. But what I'm realizing is that I was diagnosed with anxiety for a reason. A doctor sat me down and said, you have general anxiety disorder for a reason. And deciding last year to stop taking the medication for that, wanting to kind of figure out this on my own, there's a reason that people have medication. I'm now remembering why. Now that it's fully out of my system, I see why I was on it. Not necessarily saying that I'm going to get back onto anti-anxiety medication, but I can see the benefit of it. And I also see the importance of diet, exercise, all those things come together. Because if I really want to have a good day as a trader, as a content creator, I need to wake up early. I need to stretch. I need to exercise for at least 20 minutes. I need to drink water. I need to take my supplements. When I skip any of those things, it is much more difficult for me to have a successful, what I would consider a successful day, which is really just doing my best for as long as possible all day long. not all day long, but like, you know what I mean? Like an extended period of time, getting through my blocks for the day. Another big lesson for me is that you are your biggest hater. Like you are actually your biggest hater. You're your biggest supporter, but you're also your biggest hater. And different parts of you align with each of those titles because no one speaks as negatively to me as I do. No one would ever say the things that I say to myself ever. Like no one would ever say that to me. And yet I consistently have it going through my head over and over again. The process of having to rewrite your brain is extensive and it's long term. And therefore, making money consistently can also become long term because otherwise, you're going to talk yourself out of things. Another big lesson for me is that I will probably have a ADHD diagnoses. The way that I can jump from thing to thing and hyper focus and then step away and no longer care is treacherous for this journey that I am on. The way I have jumped to multiple things. And it's so funny because the way that God shows me these things is He'll put someone in my life that shows me all of my inefficiencies, and them having them will stress me out and piss me off. Watching them do those things, I'm just like, oh my God. And then I remember that those are the issues I have, which is why I take them so personally, is when I see them in other people. And I recently got one of those reminders a couple days ago. And that one, it had me crying. Watching someone else struggle and be what I fear to be is motivational, but it's also extremely humbling. I'm not very good at giving those people grace. Also, because I see those inefficiencies in myself and I know what the solution is. And I can't just tell this person, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, because I know that I need to do this and I need to do that, and I don't do it. So why should I expect them to be any better or to not struggle in the ways that I also struggle? Going forward, I am narrowing down on what my priorities are. Like I have to, because I want to be Superwoman. I want to be all these things. I am in love with life and I want to try it all and do it all. And you can do it all and you can have it all. But like so many other successful women have said, you can't do it all at once. You have to choose what you're going to build first and then go from there. I go back and forth about which one I want to really commit to in the short term, whether that's content or trading, in comparison to a traditional job that I would like to do it early in the morning and then step away from it. The reason I may choose content instead of trading is mostly that trading, if you fail, not fail, that's so negative, but if you lose a trade first thing in the morning and you allow it to affect your mood for the rest of the day, it's very difficult to be successful in anything else throughout the day. With content creation, there is also a lot of waiting on other people, the time that comes in, the time that it takes for someone to get back to you to negotiate a deal, to sometimes not even get the deal. I pitch a lot and don't hear back a lot. And I know that's part of the business, that's part of what I've signed myself up for, but it doesn't make it any easier. It just reminds you and it kind of gives you this headspace of, oh, this isn't working. Oh, this isn't working. But then there are days I get 4 or 5 emails about opportunities. Like I said, it's all about finding the balance between the person you know you want to be, the work that it needs to take to get you there, the work that you don't know it'll take to get you there, and then maintaining the headspace of once you are there that you aren't going to lose it, being confident enough to not self-sabotage. There's a book, they call it Upper Limiting, and understanding what your upper limits are and how to make sure that you lift them before trying to go above them, because otherwise you will sacrifice. Basically, you are self-sacrificing. I want to say sabotage, but honestly, self-sacrificing as a sentence makes so much more sense because that's what you're doing. You're sacrificing yourself for your comfort, and that's not necessary. You will be more comfortable at the next level. And I know that's hard to say, and it's even hard for me to hear it, but not sacrificing and not sabotaging is the next step. And that is the next hurdle for me. And when I think about what I want to do for the rest of this year, when I look at my vision board, it really is just a matter of me showing up for myself, being uncomfortable, and not reading the feedback so strongly. That was the biggest thing this year. I've been reading the feedback of Let's say I don't make any money for a month, or I lose a trade, or I lose a brand deal. I see those as feedback way heavier than I receive the positive feedback. And honestly, it's just all feedback. You can't change the past. It is what it is, at least the way that we're living today. That's probably the biggest lesson I could give anybody on their journey on entrepreneurship, is to understand that the past is just feedback. It's not indicative of who you can be. It is just to give you more substance and so you can redirect and recorrect. They mentioned this in Psycho-Cybernetics, that you really just have to see the past as data points and not as who you are, because none of us are who we were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We have grown into these new people, and we should really love ourselves and treat ourselves as such, and know that the past does not mean or define what you can or cannot do in the future. I know this is a little different than what I've normally posted, and it is supposed to be a diary. So this is my video diary for the month of May, just kind of giving you guys an update, because I see so many people post these videos about like, I was struggling and then I was this and now I have this. Now I have $50 million. Da, da, da. But you don't really hear a lot from the people that are still in that journey of struggling. And if you do, I feel like these are the lowest viewed videos of people who are still in the trenches and in the process. And I think those are the videos that really should be shown to the public, because that is what will let you know that it's okay, that your struggles are okay, that your journey is okay. Because what one person told me, they were like, Katrina, it hasn't even been a year. Like, calm down. Okay. That's the censored version of what they said. Calm down. You haven't even been trying for a year. You can't even get an associate's degree. You can barely get a certificate in 6 months. Calm down. And just trust yourself, continue the journey. And so that's what I will be doing. And hopefully posting a bit more on here. I need to post a lot more on here because I done bought this camera and I feel like I need to pay it off with content. So we will definitely be posting more. And if you guys have any journeys that you would also like to share, I'd love to hear about your own journey into growing in the person of your dreams and living your life. So yeah, let me know, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.